Welcome to the Organic Dragon Show. Today's topic is on ginseng. I'm going to break down the difference between American ginseng and the Chinese or Korean ginseng. So the very first thing to know about ginseng is what kind of ginseng should you take. First thing to consider is your climate. If you live in a hot climate like we do here in Las Vegas or Arizona or California, the appropriate ginseng to take always is American ginseng. American ginseng is cooling for the body. It's also a tonic for the adrenal glands. It's good for the lungs. It's good for the spleen. Improves the digestive ability. It's also good for diabetes. So the Chinese are very smart. They've known for one of the very first imports from the United States to China was a ginseng. And still to this day, 90% of American ginseng that's grown in Wisconsin and some parts of New York go to China. Because in the hot, humid climate, they know the cooling effects and the more tonic effects of the American is actually much better for you. So we also sell, by my brand, the Golden Dragon Tonics. We sell these little baby ginsengs that are about 6 to 7 years old and can be made as a tea. And if you come in and you buy these or you want us to ship these out to you, we always send directions on how to make this. So you can make this as a tea. You can actually brew it 4 or 5 times or more. And so even though it's $5, you can get a lot of brews out of this, and it's very good for your body. We also sell the Dragon Herbs brand, and we sell the American ginseng here, which is anywhere from 8 to 15-year-old roots. Very good, very cooling, very good as a tonic. Very good for allergies also. In our last episode, we talked about that. We also sell the cream of the crop ginseng, which this retails for $500. This is the Heavenly Drops. This is all wild ginseng. They only produce about 100 bottles a year of this. And this is anywhere from 50 to 70-year-old roots, and they're wild. And nothing in this is younger than 15 years. So this is a very, very cream of the crop. Yes, $500 is a lot, but it's amazing how taking these, how articulate, how clear your thought processing becomes. You can see the future. You find yourself using bigger words. I should have took some of this before I did this episode, but it's getting down to the last of it, so I'm trying to conserve it now a little bit. But this was gifted to me, but we do sell this on special order only here in Naturally Organic. The other one I want to talk about is the red ginseng. You see red ginseng, sometimes it's Chinese, sometimes it's Korean, and that can just factor in how they process it. So not always the case, but generalizing, the Koreans steam their roots, which bring out more of the redness, bring out more of the heat, bring out more of the stimulations. And the Chinese sun dry their ginseng, and so it's still hot, still produces heat in the body, but generally is not as hot as the Korean. Now, also something to consider is the really good roots that have been in the ground longer than 10 years generally have both of tonifying effects. So if you have high blood pressure, they'll raise it. If you have low, they'll raise it. If you have high, they'll lower it. If you have low, they'll raise it. So once the root's been in the ground over 10 years, it becomes more of an adaptogen. So again, Dragon Herbs does have some red ginseng. They do have some formulas that have the red ginseng in it, but they're normally mixed with some other cooling herbs to help that adaptogenic nature, so they're more neutral, so they're not overstimulating. One of the worst things I've seen in the health industry the last 20 years is when people come in the middle of summer, they're already hot, they're already irritable, and they want some energy, and then they take like those little vials, those little red ginseng. And I used to just think as they go out the door, then they're just going to be hotter and more irritable. So I make sure that we always educate those. And in fact, I would save a lot of the red ginsengs for when you get a little bit older. So when you get past 50 or 60, if you start using them too young, then your body becomes kind of, it tends to adapt to it, and it doesn't work as well as you get older. So save the stronger ones as you get older, so then you always will have something to boost you up. Now, another thing we sell is a good replacement. It's called Dongshen, the Chinese name, but Canopsis is kind of like the American name, sometimes referred to as poor man's ginseng. Dongshen actually has more of a neutral, so they would sometimes refer to this as a ginseng properties at a tea price. So it's not too pricey. You can get a bag of this for $9.99, and this will make lots of different cups of tea for you. And you can boil these roots. You can use them multiple times. You can use these for formulas that we show you how to do it. And whether you come into the store or you buy online, we always send out some information of how to use these different herbs. And the last one I want to talk to you today about is there's a saying that said that ginseng is the king of herbs, but ants is the herb of kings. So this is really cool. This is Chongbai mountain ants. Yes, ants that crawl on the ground. So if you're vegan, this is not going to work. But the cool thing about these ants is, first of all, we all know it actually has a little ant on here lifting a log. So the law of signatures, which means that things in nature, kind of what they look like a carrot, if you cut it in half, it looks like an eye, it's good for the eyes. So if you take like ant, for example, then you would have the strength of an ant. The Chongbai mountain ants also have this really unique ability to actually find ginseng. So if you follow these ants, eventually they'll lead you to the ginseng. They tend to have this symbiotic relationship with ginseng plants also, which means, like, let's say a ginseng is being attacked by other insects, then it sends out these signals, these pheromones, and the ants pick up on that, and they come to the rescue basically, and they eat or kill the bugs that are attacking the ginseng. So very, very cool. So again, ginseng is the herb of kings, or ginseng is the king of herbs, and ant is the herb of kings. So very, very strong producing product here. Really produces a lot of what they would call the Jing energy. It helps with ATP, so it helps like how your muscles fire. So if you're looking for an alternative to some of those like sports drinks and some of those other crappy things that stimulate you out, make you weaker in the long run, this is something that you can try that will give you strength, but when your body's done utilizing it, it's not going to leave you in a weaker state. And that's one of the main benefits of using tonic herbs, is that you get the boost, but you don't get the crash. So I just wanted to share a little bit about ginseng. If you have more questions, come by. Appreciate you tuning in. We're just getting started here with the Organic Dragon Show. It's a merger of our two businesses, the Golden Dragon School and the Naturally Organic Store. We sell lots of tea, and I have some great Dragon Well tea here. Thanks for tuning in.